Hey there. I've been wanting to share this story for a while, but it's hard, you know? It's one of those things that sits heavy in your chest, like a stone you can't quite push away. It's about my brother, Tommy, and the lie he told our parents. It broke something in our family, and I guess it broke something in me, too. I'm just gonna talk through it, like I'm sitting here with you, a cup of coffee in my hands, trying to make sense of it all. Tommy and I grew up in a small house, the kind with creaky floors and a front porch that always needed fixing. Our parents were good people, hardworking, always putting us first. Dad was a mechanic, hands always smudged with grease, and Mom worked at the library, her voice soft from years of whispering between bookshelves. They weren't perfect, but they loved us fiercely. Tommy was the younger one, my little shadow, always tagging along, always getting into some kind of trouble. But he had this smile, this big, goofy grin that could make you forgive him for just about anything. When we were kids, Tommy's lies were small. He'd sneak cookies and blame the dog, or say he finished his homework when his backpack was stuffed with crumpled papers. I'd roll my eyes, cover for him sometimes, because that's what big sisters do, right? But as we got older, his lies got bigger, messier. By the time he was in high school, he was skipping classes, hanging out with kids who were no good for him. I was away at college then, trying to figure out my own life, but I'd come home and see the worry in Mom's eyes, the way Dad's shoulders slumped a little more each time Tommy got caught. The lie, the big one, happened when Tommy was 19. I was 23, back home for the summer, working at a diner to save up for grad school. Tommy had been acting strange for weeks, disappearing for hours, coming home with this nervous energy, like he was carrying a secret he couldn't shake. I'd ask him what was wrong, but he'd just shrug, flash that grin, and say, "Nothing, sis, just living the dream." I wanted to believe him. I really did. One night, Mom and Dad sat him down at the kitchen table. I was there, stirring sugar into my tea, trying to stay out of it. They'd found a wad of cash in his room, hundreds of dollars, tucked under his mattress. Dad's voice was low, steady, but you could hear the fear in it. "Tommy," he said, "where'd this money come from?" Mom's hands were shaking, her eyes already red from crying. Tommy just sat there, slouched in his chair, picking at a scratch on the table. Then he looked up, and with this calm, almost cold voice, he said, "I've been working odd jobs, construction stuff. It's no big deal." I remember the silence after that. It was like the air got thick, hard to breathe. Mom wanted to believe him so badly. She grabbed onto that story like it was a lifeline. Dad wasn't so sure, but he nodded, said they'd trust him, but he better not be lying. I didn't say anything, but something in my gut twisted. Tommy's eyes met mine for a second, and I saw it. This flicker of something dark, something scared. I should have pushed him right then, demanded the truth, but I didn't. I just sipped my tea and let it go. A few weeks later, the truth came crashing down. Tommy wasn't working construction. He'd been selling drugs. Little stuff at first, weed mostly, but then he got mixed up with some guys who were into harder things. The money under his mattress, it was from that. He'd been using our parents' trust, their love, to cover it all up. The worst part, he'd been storing some of that stuff in our garage, right under Dad's old toolbox. When the police showed up, it wasn't just Tommy they questioned. It was all of us. I'll never forget the look on Mom's face when they took Tommy away in handcuffs. It was like someone had ripped her heart out and left her standing there empty. Dad just stared at the ground, his hands clenched into fists. I was angry. God, I was angry. At Tommy, at myself for not seeing it sooner. I kept thinking if I'd just asked more questions, if I'd pushed harder, maybe I could have stopped it. But I didn't.
And now our family was falling apart. Tommy's lie didn't just hurt him. It broke Mom and Dad in ways I didn't see coming. Mom stopped going to the library for a while. She said she couldn't focus, couldn't stand the pity in people's eyes when they heard about her son. Dad got quiet, quieter than he'd ever been, like he was carrying the weight of Tommy's choices on his own shoulders. And me? I felt like I'd failed them all. I was the big sister, the one who was supposed to keep things together, and I let Tommy slip away. He spent 6 months in jail. Those were long months, visiting him, seeing him in that orange jumpsuit, trying to find the boy with the goofy grin under all that shame. He'd apologize over and over, but it wasn't just words I needed. I wanted my brother back, the one who used to make me laugh until I couldn't breathe, the one who'd sneak me candy when I was grounded. But that Tommy was gone, or at least it felt that way. When he got out, things didn't snap back to normal. Mom and Dad tried to forgive him, but there was this wall between them now, built from all the hurt. Tommy moved out, got a job at a warehouse, started trying to rebuild. I'd see him sometimes and we'd talk, but it was different. There was this space between us, filled with all the things we didn't say. I wanted to ask him why he lied, why he let it go so far, but I was afraid of the answer. Maybe he didn't even know. It's been a few years now, and things are better, but not like before. Tommy's doing okay. He's got a girlfriend, a steady job. Mom and Dad smile more, but there's still this shadow, this quiet ache we all carry. I've learned something through this all, though. Lies, even the ones you tell to protect someone, they don't just hurt the person you're lying to. They ripple out like a stone in a pond, touching everyone you love. I wish I could go back and shake Tommy, make him see what he was doing, but I can't. All I can do is keep loving him, keep hoping he'll find his way back to who he used to be. Thanks for listening. It feels good to get this out, to share it with someone who cares. It's not an easy story, but it's mine, and I guess I'm still learning how to carry it.